This is your weekly rundown of episode Heresy, week 17, starting on May 27th. This week sees the second week of the Ghost of the Deep dungeon in the new limited time event, Rite of the Nine, which is free to all players with no dungeon keys required. Found in the Eternity node, each week one dungeon will be the featured dungeon for the week, with the Ghost of the Deep, Prophecy, and Spire of the Watcher. Rite of the Nine is available in 3 versions. Explorer mode for guardians who are new to dungeons, with tooltips explaining mechanics, no darkness zones, 5-second revive timer, and waypointing. Eternity mode for more experienced guardians, and Ultimatum mode for a tougher challenge, tougher enemies, tougher modifiers, and greater rewards. With a selection of 12 returning dungeon weapons with updated perks, a new 9 theme aesthetic, and even adept weapons for those who take on the hardest challenge. If dungeons aren't your thing and you finished up episode Heresy story, you have some time to catch up before the Edge of Fate begins on July 15th, giving you some time to finish anything from episode Echoes, episode Revenant, as well as Heresy. Or you could complete your Nightfall Conquest seal, play some Gambit, or even go for Ascendant in competitive Crucible. Act 2 of episode Heresy brought with it the new activity, the Court of Blades. Set within the Dreadnought's Hole of Souls area, players are transported to different arenas across the system, from Io to Europa and on board a Hive warship. Court of Blades has 2 difficulty options, Normal and Expert, with adept versions of the Act 2 weapons only dropping in the Expert version. Also, the Grandmaster Nightfall node is available, giving Guardians the opportunity to complete their Conquest seal for this episode. With this node becoming available, this gives Guardians the chance to complete all of the Act's Grandmasters, some of which are now not available. Warden of Nothing on the Dreaming City, Sunless Cell on the Dreadnought, Insight Terminus on Nessus, Psyops Battlegrounds Moon, Lake of Shadows on the EDZ, Scarlet Keep on the Moon, Hypernet Current on Europa, Hive Battlegrounds Mars, and the Psyops Battlegrounds Cosmodrome. Act 1 of episode Heresy brought with it the new 3-player activity, the Nether. Set within the Dreadnought patrol zones, Guardians fight in random and varied encounters with different events and objectives every time. The Nether has 3 modes: the Nether Exploration for those solo types who want to just explore the Dreadnought, a match-made mode on baseline advanced difficulty, and a selectable non-match-made expert version. From Act 3 of episode Revenant, we have the new exotic mission, Kell's Fall, where you can earn the new Void exotic shotgun, Slayer's Fang, and new Prison of Elders challenge, Kell's Vengeance, which can be found over in the Last City for 2 to 3 players. Act 2 of episode Revenant brought with it the Tomb of Elders, and Contest of Elders over in the Last City, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of Act 2. Also available for a weekly Pinnacle is the Salvation Jade raid, over in the Pale Heart, and new dungeon, Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over on the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs, and a whole suite of new weapons, and armour. Just make sure to visit Encore over in the tower to pick up the quest, Drowning Labyrinth, to enter. Over in the Last City we have Onslaught Salvation, which can be accessed after you complete the initial steps of the opening act of Revenant. This version of Onslaught brings with it new defences, 3 maps that are not in the Vanguard playlist version, and new enemies to fight. You can select from Widow's Court, Eventide Ruins, and Kell's Grave, either normal or expert. Also, the original Onslaught has been updated to include some of the new additions. Located in the Vanguard playlist, the featured Onslaught map this week will be Midtown, with the Field Razor Tormentor kicking off the boss rotation. In the Last City on the Helm, the exotic mission Encore is still available, with 2 difficulty options, Normal and Expert. Also, from episode Echoes, we have the 3 new Battleground activities, Delve, Conduit, and Core, with Enigma Protocol and Breach Executable. The Expert Battlegrounds will start this week's rotation with Delve. The Dreaming City this week is at a strong curse level, which means Pet Revenge can be found in Ria Silvia, and has the Dark Monastery mission for the next week. The Blindwell features Taken Enemies and the Plague Oinamina. The Ascendant challenge will be the Keep of Honed Edges over in the Harbinger Seclude. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is in the Deep. The Trove Guardian is located in the Hellmouth, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Fallen Council in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Scolus Pride. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Fogoth and the Blasphemer Shotgun. On Europa this week, Praxisi Technocrat will be the Empire Hunt, Cadmus Ridge will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Safeguard. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Hive, Vex, and Valister Arc. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 2, Scathelock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is the Communion, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on attack, with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borragon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Downfall, the Partition mission will be Hard Reset, and the Vex incursion will be Liming Harbour. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians. where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The Final Shake's cooperative focus campaign mission this week will be Ascent. The 12 Guardian Match-made Excision mission is also available next to the race for a weekly Pinnacle, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Salvation Jade raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Verity, called Varied Geometry. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Scission, called Crossfire. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Totems, called The Grass is Always Greener. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 2nd encounter, Oracles, called The Only Oracle for You. The Deep Zone Crypt challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Tanix, called The Core 4. And the Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Embrace, called To the Top. Featured Pinnacle Raid 1 will be Vow the Disciple over on the Throne World, and featured Pinnacle Raid 2 will be the Last Wish over on the Dreaming City, with all challenges available for all encounters, with the exotic Pulse Rifle Collective Obligation being farmable from the final boss in Vow, and the exotic Fusion Rifle 1000 Voices from the Last Wish. Featured Pinnacle Dungeon 1 will be the Grasp of Avarice over on the Cosmodrome, and featured Pinnacle Dungeon 2 will be the Warlord's Ruin over on the EDC. The exotic mission rotator will be Operation Seraph Shield, with the Revision 0 exotic Pulse Rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Seraph weapon set, and Ikelos weapon set, with the Warmind's Avatar armor set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour will also be available in the Legends tab. We have now had all of episode Heresy's challenges over the first 16 weeks of the episode. So, as a reminder, if you complete 108 out of 112, you can get a large pile of bright dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Lost Sectors, Tuesday Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, Wednesday Gilded Precept on Neptune, Thursday Thrillerdrome on Neptune, Friday The Broken Deep in the Pale Heart, Saturday The Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart, Sunday Bunker E15 on Europa, and Monday Perdition on Europa. The Grandmaster Nightfalls continue this week with our 17th featured Nightfall, which should see us face off against the Mad Warden in the Warden of Nothing over on the Dreaming City, with the Scintillation Linear Fusion Rifle as the featured adept weapon. The 6v6 playlist will be Control, the 6v6 Quickplay mode should be Relic, Showdown should be in the Small Teams Quickplay, and 4v4 Checkmate Mix should also be available, with Trials of Osiris returning at the weekend. This week should also see bonus Gambit Reputation available all week long. And as a reminder, the annual Moments of Triumph continue, with a collection of 33 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the 2024 seal and title. Still available is the Destiny 10th Anniversary in-game celebration event, and don't forget to keep an eye on Zer this Friday at Reset to see if he's offering another chance to grab a random rolled exotic class item for 41 strange coins. And that's it for the 17th week of the Final Shape episode Heresy. Thank you for watching, Allons-y.